Us, greetings. Welcome aboard. Thanks for coming once again. I've got a really good session planned today. I think if I get through it all, I'm always running out of time. So we'll have a warm up and then we'll do a little bit of a yoga stretch and then we'll get straight into the deck of cards. The deck of cards is really getting there. We've only got a very small number of cards to go. Look at the cards we've got left. But in those, we've got some toughies, the Jack of Hearts, Queen of Hearts, King of Hearts. So just right there, there's 36 more sit-up burpees to be done in the next week. Us, Chris, good to see you, buddy. Don't forget to say hello. Today, we're going to add the Queen of Diamonds, the 9 of Diamonds, which is 9 sit-ups, and the 9 of Clubs, 9 squats. So I'm going to put them in the deck. I've shuffled the deck, and I'll just put them. Doesn't really matter where they go. Whoop. Just shuffle them again. Drop them. Okay. Rob DeSouza, Alan, good to see you. Daniel Langworthy, welcome aboard. Rochelle, what time is it there? It's 3 p.m. here, so I guess it could be anywhere like 12 p.m. Is it, Rochelle, where you are? So really appreciate you staying up. Rob Jerd, it was good to see you again. Herman, welcome aboard. Harry, nice to see you from down the road. So we've got people from North America and people from just down the hill from where I live. So that's really cool. So today, after we are 10 p.m. So it's 10 p.m. there where Rochelle is. So she's way ahead of us. She's, what's that? 7 hours plus 20 years ahead of us. Frederick, good morning from Sweden. Us, 7 a.m. in Sweden. And Richard Kimura, us, all the way from home. After the deck of cards, if I can recover, I hope I brought a towel. Otherwise, I'm going to be streaming sweat everywhere instead of information. And then I want to work on a couple of fundamental principles. And I want to add what I think is a super effective way to speed up your progress in training without actually changing the content of what you're doing. So there's just a couple of tweaks I want you to do. I'll be doing that towards the end, so stay tuned. Gary McCausland, good to see you, man. Thanks, Gaz. Luna. That's James and Maddie, is it? Is that you, James and Maddie? Good to see you, buddy. Troy Fumo, Graham, Frederick, Richard, everyone. Look, I'm so glad. Keep the word going. Spread the link, spread the information out to your friends, because the more we get, the better. Subscribe to YouTube. That's really great. But what even helps better is when you share the link. So copy the link and share it to your friends in Facebook. And that really helps to get the word out. I don't mind so much how many subscribers I have at YouTube. I'm never going to be a YouTube champion. There are people out there with tens of millions, and I'm lucky to have a few hundred. But that doesn't matter. What's really, really valuable to me is that we share the information, because I think the more people that we can share this stuff with, the better. And I've got faith that what we're working on is really interesting stuff. Tiger Kun, good to see you, buddy. We've got Maddie and James and Tiger. Mike Lorden, Shihan, nice to see you all the way from North America. That's fantastic. Okay, so we'll get going with a warm-up. And remember, the idea of this isn't so much for you to just sit there and watch. It's crazy. People are discovering all of a sudden new facets of themselves they didn't realize. And one of them is that they're not very comfortable with having to sit at home and do nothing, because you need to make the effort to develop good habits. And this is one good habit. Otherwise you can often just consume yourself with fear and apprehensions about tomorrow. We're all out of work. We've all been laid off. Companies are shutting down. We don't know when we get back to work. And even when we do, well, then that incredible economic situation that we're finding now is really going to hit home. So, us, Mike from Western Australia. Did you move from Tasmania to Western Australia, Mike? I didn't realize that. Of course. And if that's the Mike Clarke that I'm thinking it is, the author of that fantastic book, Shin Gi Tai. Is that you, Mike? You can see Mike Clarke there. Now, there's a really fantastic book. I think what I'll do in one of my future things is I'll actually bring my copy from upstairs and I'll show it to you, and I'll probably put the note down below. Shin Gi Tai is a really fantastic book that Mike Clarke. Yes, it is Mike. And it's a great book. I think everyone could read. Shin Gi Tai is a concept that we all work on all the time without even knowing it. Shin means the mind, the spirit, kokoro. Gi means technique, waza. So sokugi, for example, is foot techniques. Sokugi taikyoku is the kicking technique, taikyoku kata. And tai is karada, okay? So you've got the shin, the mind, the technique, and the body. And they're like three legs on a stool. If one of those is lacking, the stool is rocky, okay? And in my new book that's coming up, I've got chapters in that, and I've actually quoted Mike's book. And I think if I haven't sent you the copy, Mike, that I'm doing, well, then I will send it to you. I think I may have sought your approval by now. If I haven't, I shouldn't have. But anyway, and as an interesting thing came to mind recently too, Shin Gi Tai. I realized that Japanese martial arts in particular have very strong influences. First of all, what's Graham Rose? Great to have you. First of all, Sosai, in the research for my republishing of the Budo Karate, I've been rereading a lot of Sosai's books, and the amount of times that he mentions India, and India being the source of many of the original concepts that are used in Budo, particularly the internal concepts like the breathing and so on. And I may have even thought actually that Dharma, Bodhidharma, is the one that took certain concepts to China. Well, a lot of these concepts have been taken before him. He wasn't the first one, but he went and sorted a few problems out, I believe. And one of the primary things that you take from India in Japanese martial arts particularly, and also in Chinese martial arts, is the breathing techniques. And Sosai is pretty adamant that if you take a look at a lot of the breathing techniques that we find, there's a very strong connection to the Indian yoga breathing techniques. And as you know, I've been talking about the connection between the Ibuki breath and the Ujjayi breathing. And when we're doing the yoga stretching, I'd love it if you could also use that Ujjayi breathing, because it does have a very distinctive relaxing effect on the body when you're stretching. The Shin is Indian. This is one concept of the Shin Gi Tai, which I'm looking at when you take the martial arts. The Shin, the mind, the internal, has an origin in Indian. The Gi, the technique, has very strong origins in China. Even though there was influence from India, I would say that a lot more came from Chinese research. And the Tai, the karada, a lot of the conditioning exercises that we do originate in Japan. Even though there's a lap over, of course, we do, everything does everything. But just one idea that I just had recently, I didn't even write it down, but seeing Mike Clarke pop up there, his book came to mind, and Shin Gi Tai came to mind. Shin, the mind, has a lot of connection in the martial arts. It's probably over here, a big lot of India. Up here, another circle. Gi, the technique, has a lot of connection to China, and in Japan, particularly Japan. And then the Tai, the karada, a lot of the conditioning and the attitude towards conditioning that we have in modern day karate is very much Japanese. And a lot of research shows that Funakoshi Gichin's son, Gigo, who died very young, actually, he died of, I think he died of, I'll look it up. He died at 39 years old. It was a pity, because he was very, very much involved in taking a lot of the traditional Okinawan training and upping it with a very strong approach to training. He was Sosai's first karate instructor, actually. So I'd say a lot of the influence came from there. Okie doke, let's get warmed up, and then we're going to do a yoga stretch, and then we're going straight into the deck of cards, which is getting tough. It's getting up there. It doesn't matter who you are. If you are young and fit, well, you should be doing the deck of cards as part of your warm-up. Your training is our warm-up. I remember many years ago we used to get guys come to the dojo all the time. Rudd, good to see you all the way from Japan. Well done. We used to get guys coming to the dojo all the time, and I remember one day we had a fellow came in, and he had his kickboxing shorts on and his wraps and everything, and I said, and I was sweeping up, and I said, "Oh, can I help you?" He said, "Yeah, I'm here to spar Cameron Quinn." I said, "Oh yeah, class start." It was about 5:30 p.m. I said, "Class starts at 6. He'll be there." So anyway, I said to Wally, one of the Uchideshis, I said, "Just let everyone know we're going to have a bit of a harder than normal session. Now, when I say that, our sessions were already pretty hard. And when we do a harder than normal session, it wasn't something that anyone could handle. Everyone would just pick the pace up and still handle it. And at the end of the first hour, that guy who'd come to, he was decided he was going to shut the dojo down by smashing everyone with his Wally walked up to me and said, "What do we do now? He just failed the warm-up." Anyway, the poor guy had a tough night, I'll tell you. That's another story. Okay, let's get going before I get carried away on stories here. I'll put these aside for now. Take glasses off. Okay. How's that? Knees. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The other way. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Squatting. Ich, ni, san, shi, ni, san, shi, san, shi. And around. Ich, ni, san, hanta, ich, ni, san, double shoulder. Twisting, ich, ni, touch, ku, and ju. Down the middle. Ich, ni, san, ni, san, ni, san, shi, ni, san. Pull down to one side. And the other. Middle. This is where you bring your warrior breathing in. So remember, it's like a soft ibuki with your mouth closed. Do an ibuki, soft ibuki, and then keep the mouth shaped but close your mouth. So you get that open throat position. When you're stretching, do that. Keep the mouth like that and breathe in and out of the mouth and the nose. So let's go. And down the middle. Good. Then one leg. Make sure your body stays between the knees. Don't come over here and hug the knee or bring the knee in. The alignment gets all screwed up. Just stay inside the knee and let gravity do the stretch for you. You feel that, and then you breathe. You use that breathing. And every time you breathe out, you'll feel the body release a little. Good. Turning. Once again, hip flexors. If you want, you can bring the back arm up. And toes up in the air. Once again, find your balance and get the arms inside the knees, not outside. Inside the knees, and use the arm to open wide. Swap sides, nice and long, nice and relaxed. Let gravity do the work for you. That's these muscles through here that flex the leg up, flex the hip, push forward. When I'm doing these sessions, you notice I try not to use too much equipment. On Monday, I used a kick pad to do the knee ride drill. Well, you can use a cushion off your sofa for that. Or if you have a little, a very hard pillow you might use for sitting in zazen or something, you can use that. But I'm trying not to any equipment simply because during the virus lockdown, we don't have that availability. If you do, well then by all means use it. I've got bench press over there. I've got all that stuff, but there's no point in working on it because if no one else has it, it doesn't help anyone. Okay, leg straight again. And Shiko Dutch. Nice deep Shiko Dutch. Remember, thumbs forward, not back. And left shoulder, push it in, stretch the spine. Once again, let gravity find its place in every stretch that you do. Switch in. Both arms. Keep your posture upright if you can. Push the knees wide with your elbows there. Okay, Shiko Bumi. So the Shiko stretch. This is a great stretch too, and we do like 6 or 8 or 10 here, but in the dojo we'll set a timer for 10 minutes, and we'll do it for 10 minutes. Makes a big difference. My better half on the way to work. She's got a day of work a week, isn't that good? Good, shake it off, arms. I want to do the Mawashi exercise too. If you do it in your dojo, you'll be able to follow along. Otherwise, if you're not used to it, this is a great way for beginners to get the so by the time they need it in a kata, they actually do it really well. So we take Mawashi, right hand up, and Mawashi, and push it over your head to the left side. Now left hand up, Mawashi, over the head to the right side. So it's a stretch. Mawashi, over the head, left behind. Mawashi, over the head, right behind. Mawashi, over the head to the ground. And Mawashi, over the head, down. Good. Okie doke. Now, I'm going to go do that yoga stretch again. Remember, every time you fold forward, you breathe out. When you fold up, you breathe in. Okie doke. And I'll turn sideways so you can see the movement. Okay, just relax a little, feet together. And breathing in. Out. In. Hold. Out. In. Out. Hold the position and lengthen the distance from your hands to your shoulders. Keep taking your head back towards your shins. Your gaze point is straight between the legs. Rotate the elbows in. Breathe in. Coming forward. Breathe out. In. Out. In. Out. In. Hold. Out. In. Out. Hold the position. Stretch the hands. Lengthen the distance from the hands to the shoulders. Turn the elbows in, not out, in. Listen to your warrior breath. Breathe in. Out. In. Out. One more time. In. Out. In. Out. In. Out. Hold the position. Breathe in. Out. Oops, breathe in there. I got it wrong at the last one. And let's do it one more time. I won't say anything this time. Just follow me with it. In. Out. In. There you have it. That's a good little yoga stretch. That's probably the first few stretches of a good long yoga workout. Just say good day. Kyokushin Shuffle, Patty, good to see you. Appreciate that. Oh, good on you, Daniel. Yeah, it's a fantastic book. Mike Clarke's there, everyone. You can see Mike's name. Wrote the book Shin Gi Tai. It's probably, I think, one of the best martial arts books you'll see around. It's certainly won plenty of awards, and it's well worth grabbing. Nate and Shay, good to see you. Welcome aboard. So we've got quite a few of the kids from the Mountain Dojo here. I know that there's a few more who are on. Maybe Shin and Ren come on, but they don't have an account, so they can't leave a message. But anyway, so we're going to move straight into. The reason I came up to, besides saying good day on the messages, is to once again just run over those that warrior breathing. It's a little like ibuki, but it's a soft ibuki. I'm finding that as I get older, I'm starting to ask questions about the intensity of the ibuki and whether it's really worth it or not, because I tend to feel that it can't be too good for your blood pressure if you push too hard. And I'm sure anyone with a lot of experience in Okinawan karate may tell you better than me, but just from my own intuition, I don't do really hard ibuki anymore. I just don't think it's really healthy for your blood pressure. But I enjoy doing the Ujjayi breathing, which is ibuki, but with your mouth closed. And the whole idea of you open the throat, and one way you can keep it open is push the tongue into the back of the bottom teeth. So it's ibuki with your mouth closed. So you can hear how the in-breath and the out-breath kind of sound about the same. And I'm sure there are people who do it with more regularity than I do, who could even demonstrate it better for you. Okay, so enough procrastination. Let's get into the deck of cards. It's getting tough. We're up there with 10 burpees, and if you have a bad shuffle, which we know happens from time to time. Although Graham Rose and I were talking, I was saying the deck of cards is absolutely the best form of online gambling you can find, because everyone's a winner. You go on other gambling websites and you shuffle that deck, and whether you win or lose is a gambling proposition. But with this one, you're guaranteed to be a winner. Okay, but it is getting tough. If you end up getting the 10, the 9, and the 8, for example, burpees in a row, well, there's 27 burpees straight up, and that's a tough test for anyone over a certain age. If you're 20, 25, you should be able to smash that anyway. I remember one day, Chris Dunn, you'll see Chris's name there. Chris was one of my live-in students for quite a while, actually, and he may remember we had a night there where we decided to do 1,000 burpees. So what we did is after every basics technique, we do 30 burpees. And it was a race, I admit. The way we do it is because not everyone can do 30 burpees and not everyone can do 1,000 burpees. So what we'd do is we'd smash it. We'd race to finish 30. And when the first person finished 30, everyone else would stop. And I have to say, if Chris was there, he'll remember. Chris was probably one, but it was Gary O'Neill or sometimes Dom Hopkins. One of those guys would hit 30, and there'd be a bunch of us, including me. I was a lot fitter then. We'd come in when they'd hit 30. We'd come in at 20, 28, 29. Yeah, Chris was there. He's still traumatized, he reckons. But, you know, I would consistently get to 28, 27, 28. I never made 30. I never beat any of them to 30. But thanks, Mike. Mike Lorden is also a great author of a fantastic little book on Kyokushin karate. Look up Mike's name as well. There's a great Funakoshi sensei died of osteo, but his son died of a disease which he caught very young. He got a disease at 7 years old. It was... you know, something like a malaria, one of those sort of things. I'm not too sure. But anyway, good to see you, Mike. Like I said, look up Mike Lorden's book as well. We've got some great authors here today. Okay, so let's go, deck of cards. Best form of online gambling you can get. Is that good? I'm just going to turn that down a fraction. There we go. Okie doke. First card, Queen of Clubs, 12 squats. Take your time, measure them out. It's not a race to see who can finish fastest. We just want to get to the end. 10, 11, 12. Nice. 2 spades, 2 push-ups. 4 hearts, first burpees. 'Good. Keep the rhythm. 5 diamonds. 5 sit-ups. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Next one. Ace of diamonds. That's 10 sit-ups. 8, 9, 10. 9 burpees. It's one of the bigger burpees. We can get it out of the way early, I guess. 1. 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 4 clubs. 4 squats. 1, 2, 3, 4. 10 clubs. Back to back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 5 burpees. 5 of hearts. Got to get them. 1. It's the burpees that get you fit, that's for sure. 2, 3, 4, 5. Find a nice steady pace. If you're young and fit, you can smash out a full deck. Go for it. And everyone else, it's the consistency you want. Don't burn yourself out. 2 clubs. 2 squats. 1, 2, 10 diamonds. 10 sit-ups. 1, 2, 3. I'll turn side things. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 8 hearts, 8 burpees. Remember when we get up, try not to use your hands. Use your pendulum. Up. 8 burpees. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Next one. 9 sit-ups. 9 of diamonds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Remember, if you're not super fit and you're struggling, it's 100% okay to cheat here and there. You've got to cheat a little bit by doing half a sit-up or half a push-up, 100% fine. Because when you get to the full deck, then the amount you do doesn't change, just the intensity can be increased over time. Next one, 9 spades, 9 push-ups. Let's go. Haven't done a lot of push-ups. Next one, queen spades. So that's 9 and queen back to back. And 3 hearts, so 3 burpees. 1, 2, 3, 5 clubs, 5 squats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ace spades, 10 push-ups. Next one, Joker, shadow spas. Remember, before you do your deck of cards, have it in your mind already, excuse me, what you're going to do for your shadow spa. So it may be footwork, it could be rhythm in your hand combinations, 1, 2, 3, 2, 5, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 2, to a rhythm, bup, bup, bup. It could be takedown circles, for example, where you, as you rotate around, you use that to take down. It could be imagined defense, working on your defense a lot. Boom. Okay, so whatever you choose to do is fine. I like to work with my front heel for a front punch, back heel for a back punch. and take the tension out of the shoulders and chest. Stop, turn. And that'll do. Okay, let's keep going. 3 spades, 3 push-ups. You fit guys should smash this. If you're fit, get up fast between each one. Ace, spade, ace of hearts, 10 burpees. That's probably the big one for today. 10 burpees. 1, 2, 3. Like a Mexican wave. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Tough one. Queen, diamonds. That's 12 sit-ups. Sit-ups are always tough after burpees. You don't get your breath back this way. 10 spades, 10 push-ups. Some toughies in a row. Four push-ups, 4 spades. With push-ups too, if you're cheating, so you get through them, that's okay. But you can start to reclaim correct form by doing the last one of each set fully. So for example, 4 push-ups, 1, 2, 3, and 4 all the way down. That's always a good way to build up your volume again. 6 burpees, 6 of hearts. Whoa, some toughies there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Next one. Ace clubs, 10 squats. And 2 hearts, 2 burpees. The deck shuffle makes it uncertain. That's why it's so helpful. 9 clubs, 9 squats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. King, spades, 13 push-ups. 8, 10, 12, all the way down, 13. 2 diamonds, 2 sit-ups. 3 diamonds. 7 hearts. Those burpees are still coming out. Use my hand when I got up then too. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. One more, because I used my hand when I stood up. 5 push-ups, 5 spades. Jack, diamonds, 11 sit-ups. Nine, 10, 11. Joker, nice timing. Okie doke. Again, nice and soft through the shoulders. Don't try and punch. Don't punch and kick. Simply feel the power through the spine and the arc of tension. Nice and soft. How many ways can you throw a jab? Straight out, straight down, straight around, straight through the middle, over the top of the arm. A hook is just a jab at an angle. Oh boy, my youthful memories nearly got the better of me there. Did an X kick. Haven't done one of those since about 1985. King, diamonds, 13 sit-ups. Eight, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Next one. 4 diamonds. See, if you're super fit and young and you're smashing this, you get up between each set, well, then you get a whole burpee, basically, getting up, getting back down between when you have the same thing. King, clubs, 13 squats. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Jack of spades. A few biggies at the end. 11 push-ups. Next one. 3 clubs. And lucky last. Jack clubs. Got a lot of big ones at the end there. 1, 2, 3, 4. All the way down, all the way up. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's it. Get a towel, wipe down, grab a drink, and come back. Good one, guys. I kept up. Young Tiger, you'll see Tiger, who just, that's Tristan. Welcome, Tristan. And Raj from Nepal there. Young Tiger, you'll see his name, Tiger. He's one of the kids up the mountain. He's been doing the deck of cards every day. And he's even been doing it on the rest days, which when you're that young, he's about 11 or 12. Why wouldn't you? And he's doing the full deck already. So good on you, Tiger. That's fantastic. Okie doke. So whilst we were doing that deck of cards, I talked about standing up without using your hands, which is, in the dojo, we call them hip thrusters, where you actually use the momentum of your leg to pull your body up. And then if you just do that without moving your hips, you just fall back down again. But the reality is what you want is to push the hips forward. So we're going to go through that. We're going to go through the safe stand up, which is great for self-defense. Whilst you're there, don't forget, if you haven't already subscribed, please do so and hit the notifications bell. Makes a difference. But what makes the biggest difference of all is that when you share it, when you share the video with your friends, please share it. More people that come along, the better. And also have a look down the bottom of the link for the Patreon. I'd like to give a shout out to Tyrone Murphy, who's just become one of my Patreon family. Appreciate that. Tyrone and I go back a long time, although I don't see him very often. But anyway, so the hip thrusters, the way to get up without using your hands, and the safe stand-up, or the technical stand-up, sometimes it's called, are both very, very important. And one of the things that I want to focus on today is the connection between the elbow and the knee, okay? So we're running out. It's already 47 minutes in. What's the time? 48, so I've only got 12 minutes. But I want to run through these. They're really, really valuable, okay? So what I'm talking about is when I sit up with a hip thruster, I use the pendulum of your legs. And you have to practice that as much as you can, because it's a powerfully useful technique or principle that you can use whenever you end up on the ground. Sometimes someone's trying to hold your chest down, and if they're not doing a perfect job, you just pendulum your body up. And it's that simple. Someone can put one finger on your chest, okay, or just softly one hand on each side. It's almost impossible to sit up. But if they did that and you use the pendulum, you get a powerful elevation. Okay, now to get up, what we do is we then join that with the thrust of the hip forward. It's like a wrestling shot, a wrestling double leg shot, where you thrust the weight forward. Okay, so we come from here. As we pendulum, we fold one leg. Watch. This leg folds in here. Okay, fold, and then push my hip forward, a bit like the hip flexor stretches we were doing before. Back and hip forward. Don't forget that. We did that last week as well, and I think it's important to remember it. The other one is the technical stand-up, where you get up without your head coming forward. The hip thruster is good if the other guy's on the ground as well. But if he's standing up, you don't want to do the hip thruster, because you can drive your head straight into a kick. In that case, what we do is we use a technique called the safe stand-up at the dojo, or sometimes called the technical stand-up, where you get up without your head moving forward at all. Okay, so if you watch from the side, I'm sitting cross-legged, and I simply tip to one side. But one important point I want you to emphasize is the elbow and knee connection. That elbow-knee connection is one of the most powerful principles you can use at all in any training, whether it's stand up on the ground. Okay, here I tip. I have my elbow and knee connected with my hand up as a guard. And if it's a self-defense, it doesn't even have to be. You just go, look, buddy, I don't want to get in trouble. But that hand is blocking pretty well anything he can throw. Then I have my left foot and my right hand on the ground, and I simply lift my whole body off the ground so that only my left foot and right hand touching. If my right foot's in front, then I tip to the other side, so now my left hand and my right foot are on the ground. See that? So you can practice that. Don't forget, connect the elbow and knee. And then what you do is you elevate your hip and kick the back leg backwards. So you end up, you can stand up then, and you're out of range and out of danger. The other side now, I tip, elbow and knee connected, because by connecting, you create a frame, a wall from the ground all the way to the top of the head. If your elbow's up here, a sneaky kick can come straight in and hit you, and you don't even realize it. But by having the elbow and knee connected, you create an impenetrable wall. Okay, so I tip from here, I tip, elevate, and take my leg back. Hard for me to do that side from a bad knee. Okay, so there are two great ways that you can practice. Now that elbow-knee connection is fantastic. Oh, that's great, Rochelle there. She's picked up the books. Good on you. I really appreciate the two Mikes, Mike Lorden, who wrote the book on Kyokushin, and Mike Clarke, who wrote the book on Shin Gi Tai. But anyway, it's just great to have him here. Look, the elbow-knee connection, I'm just going to run through a little bit and show you what I mean by that. When I'm doing stand-up, if I block a body kick and my elbow is here, the kick's going to get in. I can be here, and I think my position is correct. It looks pretty good, I'm feeling good, and I've trained like this, so it's become habit, and then that kick comes flying in straight underneath my elbow. Okay? So if I want to do a powerful leg check, body check, head check, well, then I can bring my knee up so that my elbow and knee are connected. The danger with that is you've got 1 foot off the ground, so your balance is compromised. See that? Boom. So what you can also do is when you're blocking the body kick, this is a really, really valuable principle. You can't do elbow knee, so you do elbow hip bone. Okay? So when that kick comes, I lift instead of lifting my knee up, I lift my hip up. See that? Lift my hip up and I drop my elbow down and I create that elbow-knee connection in a false way with my elbow to hip. Same with the kick, because that left kick to the ribs is more common because of the liver. People like to attack the liver on the left side of the body. So what you do there is you roll your hip forward and up. So roll your hip forward and up. See that? Forward and up. And then you connect your elbow to your ribs. I remember once I got into a bit of a scrap, and this lad had a huge reputation around Brisbane, and he'd taken everybody out, but they wouldn't tell me what he used to take them out with. And then, well, we got into a scrap, and would you believe that he threw one of the best spin back kicks I've ever seen, certainly ever felt. But luckily for me, I was able to connect my hip bone and my elbow, and I caught it right on the arm. And the rest is history. But anyway, that's a really good way to counter. Now, when you start to get into groundwork, and I hope you do, because it's really, really a very powerful form of Kyokushin, which Solsai talked extensively about in his book. This is Karate, the whole chapter 15 is on groundwork. But then that elbow-knee connection takes on a whole new level of value. See here, not so much this one, because if they're coming that way, around this way, I don't want to be doing this and exposing my back. What I'll be doing is if I'm here and they come around this way, then that's when I connect my knee and elbow, and it makes it very difficult for them to penetrate through and get pressure on you. Okay, so that's a really good drill. You're here like this, and my elbows and knees are connected. And then as they start to come around, I make sure my knee and elbow are connected. All the kids from the dojo 100% know what I'm talking about because we practice this regularly. So when someone has, even if they do penetrate and get pressure on you, well, then what I'm doing is I manipulate my hips away so my knee and elbow can come together, and then I come back in and you steal that pressure away from them by connecting your knee and elbow. I'll talk about that more after the COVID-19 lockdown is finished. We have partners. I'll be able to talk to you more about that, but that's a very powerful principle. Now, before we finish, we've only got a couple of minutes. I did say at the beginning that I've got a couple of super effective ways that you can instantly speed up your progress in training without changing the content of what you're doing at all. Now, that kind of sounds like it doesn't make sense. If I'm not training what I'm doing, how can I improve the rate of approaching the mastery? Well, it's simply this. You ask yourself 2 questions, 5 questions actually, but for now, let's go over what I think are 2 key questions. And that is, when you're doing kumite, there's no point all the time of just going harsh kumite. In my dojo, we have what we call your round, my round. Every now and then I'll say, it's your round, my round. Okay, they go, us. And what that will mean is that if I'm sparring, say, Chris, and it's his round, well, then we're doing normal kumite, but he is dictating what I do. He might have a problem with blocking a certain technique or a certain combination. So he'll say, can you do your left, left kick, left, right, roundhouse combination? And so I'll do that with him, okay? Now the next level from that is when you go into normal kumite, what you do is as you spar and somebody scores a good technique on you, here's the secret. You stop, you have agreement. Of course, sometimes you can't stop. But if you have pre-agreement before the round that you will do this, when someone scores cleanly on you, you stop and you say, what did I do to gift you that? They've scored on you. If they're half good, they're watching the way you move. They're analyzing things, and then they see you move in a certain way which provides them with an opportunity to do a certain technique, and they score on you. Okay, the first question you should ask is, what did you do so that I was able to gift that to you? What did I do? Sorry, what did I do to gift that to you? And then you talk about it. Now, one of you're dropping your hand and then your foot's coming down slow. So I'm taking advantage of that, faking slow and coming high. So when you do that technique, you need to keep your hand higher and get your foot on the ground quicker. You can analyze it. So they'll know what you did. The other thing is they may not know what you did. They just got lucky. In which case, when you analyze it, you both learn something. You both go, oh, that's interesting. I don't know what you did, but it certainly, I somehow felt like there was an opportunity there. So let's go through it again, and you'll both learn something. Okay? That's a really, really valuable point. And the other thing is, whenever you practice anything, and particularly kata and bunkai, remember bunkai literally means the breakdown of kata. It doesn't mean application. Application is oyo. Bunkai literally applications in kata. Okay, so when you're doing kata, when you're doing any training, self-defense training, particularly when you get on the ground and you got to try and get up, there's one magic question you always need to ask yourself, and that question is, will this work against a non-compliant opponent whose objective is to hurt me? Okay, so everything works under certain circumstances. You watch demonstrations carefully, and the demonstrations are all choreographed, and the guy doing the demo goes, yeah, he'll give a signal. Yeah, hit me with that right there. And he can almost close his eyes and catch the hand because he knows where it's coming. And you can do this, take your training to another level. You say to someone, look, I'm practicing. Can you throw the left? Bang. Can you throw the left? Can you throw the left? Throw the left, right. And then you say to them, all right, now throw anything you want as hard as you can, like you're trying to knock me out. And all of a sudden, the hair will stand up on the back of your head because now it's just not a matter of pity patter. Now you really have to be careful. Okay, so the question you have to ask all the time is, will this technique work against a non-compliant opponent whose objective is to hurt me? If you can say honestly that it will, well, then you're onto something. Otherwise, you need to keep working on that. Okay, so I think we're pretty well out of time, and I really appreciate everybody coming along and hanging in there. Thank you, everybody, for coming. It was great to have Mike Clarke along, and also Mike Lorden, and, of course, everyone else who joins in and stays with me. Nate, Shay, Shin, Ren, Tiger, James, Maddie, all the kids from up the mountain dojo, Harry from down the mountain dojo, Raj all the way from Nepal, Mike Clarke from Western Australia, and Rochelle all the way from North America. Are you in Chicago, Rochelle? Is that correct? I'm not 100% sure. I think you said Chicago. Daniel Langworthy from down Newcastle Way. Is that Maitland? Is that where you are? I think that's the case. Frederick all the way from Sweden. So thank you, everybody. And I'll be back again on Friday. I'd like to continue on more about those correct questions. I had a whole bunch of stuff that I wanted to... Northern Canada, that's right. I'm sorry. I don't even know why I said Chicago. I remember you saying Canada. But I've got a whole bunch of stuff that I wanted to share with you. I didn't even get on. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed that. And if you did the deck of cards, good on you. Hang in there, stick to it. and I'll see you Friday. Us. Thank you very much. Rob Jerd, thanks, buddy, all the way from South Australia. Really appreciate it. Us. Thank you. See you all.